Joining us now in studio, Arizona Attorney General Kris, Republican political consultant Stan Barnes. Attorney General, we'll start with you. Just your take on this and where the country is at this moment.
Well, look, as the top law enforcement officer in the state of Arizona, first of all, I would say I hope and believe that law enforcement will bring this person who's responsible for this heinous act to justice, and that will be done. And just what a tragic day. As a mom, my heart goes out to his family and to all the people who were there that day, or today, who saw this. Look, what I would say is this is the one of multiple acts of political violence that we have seen this year already. We saw now Charlie Kirk, a rising star in the Republican Party, gunned down. We saw a Minnesota legislator, a Democrat, gunned down. We saw
the attempt on Josh Shapiro.
Exactly, Josh Shapiro's house set on fire. It's too much. Yeah. We have to come together as a country. We have to understand again that we are Americans, all of us, no matter what our political party, and that we don't in this country settle our differences by killing each other.
It's devastating, and Charlie Kirk was very much about that. He actually at this event was encouraging students to challenge him. You know, let's talk about this. Let's have an open conversation. He was 2 questions in when this occurred. I mean,
yeah, that's how he made a name for himself, is he went where others wouldn't go, and he had that kind of dialogue, unafraid. It's really hard to put this in context, this moment. I know everyone's in shock. I'm in shock. We're all in shock. But there will be an echo after this. Of course, we'll talk about gun rights and restrictions. But I think what we really need to talk about is the rise of political violence in the United States of America. And leadership on both sides of the aisle, the president, leaders of the Democratic Party in the Congress, governors, senators, attorney generals need to extend their hand and say, this is not who we are. And let's take it down.
Mm-hmm. Attorney General, I think most Americans right now are like, enough of this.
Yeah.
What are we doing? What are we doing?
Exactly. I think that's where we all are after having seen this year, and we're saying, wait a second, let's take this moment, you know, to use the name of Charlie Kirk's organization, Turning Point. Let's take this moment and make it a turning point where we all say, okay, first we're Americans and we love each other, and let's be neighbors. Let's understand we're neighbors first. We go to church together, we go to synagogue together, and yes, we have differences, of course we do. And to your point, Charlie Kirk invited people to come out and challenge him. I do the same thing by having town halls. I've had more town halls as Attorney General than any other AG in history. But the problem is, you know, what I worry about is that this is going to cause politicians to step way back and not be available to their constituents.
Do you worry, Stan, that even opinion people are targets now? He is not an elected official.
Right.
He was not an elected official.
How do we protect them?
This is this is an interesting twist, a horrifying, terrible twist.
I think that is a complicating factor and a nuance I'm glad you touched. If we are used to historically presidents of the United States taking a bullet. We've seen it with our greatest. But we're not used to people that are political leaders, not elected leaders, taking a bullet. Yeah. Martin Luther King among them.
Yes.
We're not used to that. So to me, it feels like an even different on the Richter scale of importance. It might be a tipping point, but it might tip the bad way. Right. The proliferation of that video and what it means in social media, the whole world has seen it by now. And there, unfortunately, are people that are not stable, that are inspired by that kind of thing. Yeah. And so we have the next few months to try to catch this and find out where are we going.
Are the politicians capable of doing that?
So that's a great question. I hope so. On the way over, I was just talking to my staff about reaching out to a high-profile Republican and trying to do some sort of public event together, if they would do one with me, to symbolize this need to do this.
To lower the temperature.
To lower the temperature. Say, okay, let's hold, as Stan said, let's just lower the temperature right now. But you know, and the other thing I want to say is law enforcement does an amazing job at all these public events. You know, where Charlie was shot, that was an open air event.
Yeah.
And
he'd done hundreds of these.
He's done hundreds of those. I've done lots of those. Law enforcement is there. They're there trying to help, but it is just really, really hard to protect against this kind of thing in an open air scenario situation, despite the fact that law enforcement is there and helping out. And so it's got to be something more systemic where we as Americans solve this problem.
Yeah, I was saying that earlier, Madam Attorney General. There's no one person that could just say, stop.
Right.
It's all of us coming together. I love what you just said about having a fellow Republican have some sort of public square presence about this is not who we are. I think it'd be very meaningful in Arizona if you do that.
I agree with that.
We don't know who this person of interest or person in custody is, but why do you think right now it feels like things like this just keep happening? We had this event that happened over on the East Coast in Charlotte, right, where this young girl's on a train and is attacked and killed, and now we're seeing video of that all over social media. Then today we have this happen, and the video just, I mean, haunting, and it's everywhere. Everyone's seeing this. There is, it feels like, a mental health crisis, and it's just, the problem is just getting worse.
Yeah, we all have an opinion. Everyone watching has an opinion. They're all equally valid. My own is, it's the bitter negative fruit of 24-hour communication by every person on the planet, saying anything they want, unedited. We get the worst of human nature. We even get the best of human nature, but we get the worst. And today's event is perhaps directly related to that worst on the internet, inspiring bad people to do bad things.
Stan Barnes, Attorney General Mays, we appreciate your time.
Thanks for being here.
Tough day.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.